with all the best feminist witchy vibes. For this one, I may be stretching things slightly. How good does that sound? Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, welcome back to another video. Today's video is a very last minute spontaneous one. I had not been planning on taking part in the Magical Readathon at all, and then I was actually on FaceTime to Tabitha the other day and we were talking about it. She was explaining some of the new rules and the new world, and suddenly I became obsessed, and now I am so excited to be taking part. I have never taken part in any of the old Magical Readathons that G has hosted before. This is my first time venturing into this readathon at all. I am so excited to take part in the revamped version. Honestly, if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you have not watched G's announcement video, of course it will be linked down below. You need to go watch it ASAP. That woman's mind, honestly, I don't know how she has come up with all of this. She is absolutely incredible. The world she has created, not gonna lie, was a little bit confusing for someone like me who does not read a lot of fantasy or high fantasy. So when she was explaining it all, I was a little bit confused. I did have to take literal notes. But once I'd done that, I worked it all out and now I am beyond excited to be taking part. So today I am bringing you my TBR for the Novice Path. Basically for the Novice Path you have to fulfill 2 of a potential 7 prompts, I believe. You only need to fulfill 2, you need to fulfill both of those by the end of September, so you've got a month to fulfill at least 2 of the 7 prompts. I have decided to give myself options, so I have picked a book for every prompt. That does not mean I plan on fulfilling every prompt. After the mammoth reading slump that was this August, you will find out in my August reading wrap up next week, which I can tell you will be a very short video. I'm not putting too much pressure on myself to read a lot this month. I do not have very high expectations. However, after my slump I am now in a major reading mood, so there is a good chance I'll get through quite a few of these. But as I said, I have just given myself options. I have a book for every prompt. We're going to go through those today. I am going to talk about those books and we'll see at the end of the month how many of those I actually fulfill. So if you'd like to know the books that I have chosen for the Novice Path of the Magical Readathon, then just keep watching. So the first prompt is the Novice Path entrance, which is to read a book with a map. This one I thought was going to be very difficult for me because I am on a major fantasy slump at the moment. Like, fantasy is not interesting me whatsoever, which you may think is odd for me to take part in this readathon because it is very fantasy based. However, I did manage to find a book that does have a map that is not strictly fantasy, and that is The Colours of Death by Patricia Marques. I have talked about this book before. This is actually an ARC that was sent to me a couple of months ago now. I am halfway through it at the moment, so I am going to fulfill at least 1 prompt. But this one does have a map. Let me show you right at the beginning here. And as you might be able to tell from the words on the page about murder and things, this is actually a thriller but with a sort of sci-fi fantasy aspect to it. In this book we follow the character of Isabel, who is an inspector for the police in Portugal. She is what is called a gifted. There are gifteds in this world, which basically means they have a power either of telekinesis, so they can move things with their mind, or telepathy, so they can hear other people's thoughts and memories. Isabel herself is a telepath, which comes in very handy for her job as an inspector because with their permission she can read witnesses, like listen to witnesses' memories if the witness is not really like remembering things themselves. If they're a bit shocked, traumatized, she just has to touch them and she can see exactly what they saw. She also gets a good read on people, can sort of feel the emotions that they have while she's interviewing them, all of that jazz. However, in this world the gifteds are very much discriminated against and there is a huge faction of society that wants to eradicate gifteds altogether. So the first murder at the beginning of this book takes place on a train. This man suddenly starts bashing his own head against the wall as if he's been thrown into the side of the train. People think it doesn't look like he's doing it himself, it's as if someone has done it to him. So we then have a potential crime or murder committed by a gifted. To make matters worse, the man that is murdered at the beginning of this book is a chief for the sort of gifted testing agency. So they test the gifted to see what level their gift is or to see if they are gifted, but there's also rumours of them experimenting and things like that as well. So you've got this whole political thing going on with also just a good crime thriller. So far I am really enjoying this. If you want to see more of my thoughts, I will have my reading vlog up on Wednesday in which I talk about this in more detail. So the next prompt is Ashthorn Tree, a book that keeps tempting you or is at the top of your TBR. So this one, people may not be surprised because obviously I've spoken about it a lot hence it has been tempting me a lot, and that is The Year of the Witch Hound by Alexis Henderson. I've spoken about this in a couple of videos now and I have been dying to get to it for so long. Hopefully this month will be the month. It is spooky season, I'm going with it. In this one we follow the character of Emmanuelle, who is a young woman living in Bethel, which is a place that has been cleansed of all witches. Witches are seen as bad. We don't want them here. The land has been cleansed of them. But then Emmanuelle is lured into the woods where she finds an old diary, the diary of her dead mother. And in this diary she reads about why her mother once consorted with witches, and she begins to understand why she would do this and maybe that she would like to do this herself. And she finds out more about the history of Bethel and why there's such prejudice against witches. And I believe she's going to try and change things. It is said to be a beautiful, dark, twisty, chilling tale with all the best feminist witchy vibes. So very excited to get to this one. The next prompt is The Mist of Solitude, to read a standalone. This one I am going to be reading a Kindle book from Kindle Unlimited, and that is The Wall of Winnipeg and Me by Mariana Zapata. I'm actually buddy reading this one with Tabitha. I'm so excited to be buddy reading it with her. She is on a major Mariana Zapata hype at the moment, so I'm hoping we're going to love this one just as much. This will be my first Mariana Zapata, and let me tell you, I've been hearing about her everywhere at the minute. People are in love with her books, and the major thing that seems to be said about her is that she is like the queen of slow burn romance. Usually I do not enjoy a slow burn romance. I can't take it. Like, I feel like maybe I've just not read any that have been done well, but most of the time I'm like, can you just kiss already? Like, I'm over it. I'm over it. But apparently she is the queen of slow burn. She gets all the tension and intimacy there, so I'm hoping I'm gonna love it. The Wall of Winnipeg and Me follows the character of Vanessa, who works for a major football player. She is like his assistant housekeeper person. Basically she gets sick of doing absolutely everything for him and never getting any gratitude or respect in return. This was always supposed to be a temporary job for her, so she leaves. But then when she leaves, he realises, oh crap, I can't do this without her. I have relied on her for so long and now I don't know what to do with myself. So he shows up at her door begging her to take her job back. I'm assuming she is going to, but maybe with some new ground rules. There may be some mutual respect starting to build there, and I'm assuming romance will ensue. I am so excited for this one. I think it's going to be a proper, like, intimate, sexual, tension-packed novel, and I'm really hoping to love it. The next prompt is Ruin of the Sky. Read a book featuring ghosts, a haunted house, or other supernatural elements. For this one, I may be stretching things slightly, but I really struggled to find a book that would fit this prompt, and G did say you can be as flexible as you like. I think I've done okay though. So for this one I'm going to choose The Danger Gang by Tom Fletcher. This is going to be the first middle grade I have read in ages, and I don't know why, because I do love a middle grade and I do love Tom Fletcher. As you will know if you watched my vlog last year when I read the Christmas Horus books, which have a very special place in my heart. I've been meaning to get around to this one for so long and just haven't, and I thought it'd be good to add a shorter, quick, exciting, easy read into my options. This one follows the character of Frankie, who cannot wait to leave the hometown that he lives in, despite the fact that he does not want to leave his best friend behind. Then there's this crazy storm with like green lightning and thunder, and after that all the kids in the town start to act a little bit odd. They have powers, I believe. Things start to get dangerous, and Frankie starts his very own danger gang to sort of save the day. So I'm saying supernatural elements. It was like a supernatural freaky storm that gives people magical powers, so I'm going supernatural for that, and I'm really excited to read this one. The next prompt is Obsidian Falls. Read a thriller or mystery book. Now we all know I love a thriller, so I was very happy to find one to fill this prompt. The difficult thing about this one is I had too many options. Other ones were difficult to fulfill because I couldn't find an option. This one, I have too many thrillers that I cannot wait to get around to. So it was a difficult choice, but I decided to go with Before I Say I Do by Vicki Bradley. This one sounds so good. I'm just going to read the blurb for this one because I think it's really well written and it just gets that tension across. Julia is nervous, and it's not just because she's about to get married. There's a lot that her soon-to-be husband Mark doesn't know, and she is determined to keep it that way. As she walks down the aisle, spotting Mark in his tailored suit, she knows she is taking her first steps to happiness. Her past can't catch her now. He turns to face her, but it isn't Mark in the beautiful suit, it's his best man, because Mark is missing and Julia's past is closer than she thinks. How good does that sound? Like, honestly, a dark, twisty, psychological thriller. What more could I want? So for the last two prompts, I've actually chosen two books in a series because I'm actually dying to read these two books, and I think I may very well read them both next week in next week's reading vlog. So the two prompts are Tower of Rumination, read a 5-star prediction, and Aurelium Academy arc, read a book with a school setting. So both of these kind of fulfill both prompts, but I can just put one for either or sort of thing. But these books are The Inheritance Games and The Hawthorne Legacy by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I have been meaning to read these for so long now. My best friend has been going on about them for so long. She was actually sent the arc for the second one, so she's just given me a loan of that just now so that I can read the two of them. There is a third one coming out maybe next year, I believe, but I need to catch up. So these ones basically follow the character of Avery, who comes from nothing, but then an eccentric billionaire dies, leaving her almost his entire fortune, and no one, least of all Avery, knows why. She moves into the mansion that she's inherited, and it's filled with secrets and codes and the old man's surviving relatives, a family hell-bent on discovering why Avery got their money. Now there's only one rule: winner takes all. Soon she is caught in a deadly game that everyone in this strange family is playing, but just how far will they go to keep their fortune? It's supposed to be super fast paced, super exciting. I do have very high expectations for this because of how much my friend has totally hyped these up. So I'm hoping to absolutely love them, devour them within a few days. Yeah, I have very high hopes. I am realising now though, I thought this was a school setting and that these were all, they look like they're all wearing school uniform. But now I'm kind of confused and thinking maybe it's not a school setting. I thought they were in high school. Now I don't know, so that might not fulfill the prompt of school setting. Hopefully it will. We will find out when I read them. If not, maybe I'll find something else, but like I said at the beginning of this video, I don't really plan on fulfilling all the prompts anyway. So that's that. So that is it, all of the books that I am hoping to read this month to fulfill the prompts for the novice path of the Magical Readathon, so that I can make my way to the Aurelium Academy and become a wonderful student. I'm so excited to take part in this readathon. I have not thought as far as my character development yet. I have a couple of options that I'm playing around with. I either want to be an urban elf from Kerador or a wildling earthling from Eartheria. I think those are my options, but I haven't fully decided yet, so I've not decided on the prompts. I've definitely not decided on the books because I plan on doing it from between now and April, or I may do it sort of just in March, like as part of my March TBR. I will of course let you know what I decide on at the time, but for now we're just going with the novice path. So that is it for this video. If you did enjoy, then do please give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe for more bookish content from me. Comment down below with any of your thoughts and feelings. I do reply to every single comment. I love you all, and I will see you in my next one.